Hey Mary, hope you had a good day. It's been a while, hasn't it? Hey Jenny, long time. Wow, I didn't expect to hear from you. Can't remember the last time we talked. How long has it been? Not sure. I guess it was right before my son James quit the soccer team, so... I think maybe 6 months ago? How about David? Is he still playing soccer? Yes, he's still at it. Since James quit, he hasn't been himself. Suppose he misses him. Oh yeah, really? What's up? Can I help you with something? Well, it's nothing special. You remember that James took that entrance exam for that private school? Well, today was when the results came back. Oh yeah, that's right. So, how was it? Of course, he got in, no problem. And at the Middleton Academy, one of the hardest schools to get into. Wow, that's really something. Middleton Academy. That's one of the most prestigious schools in the state. Congratulations. Yes, well, James is my son. I expected that much from him. I mean, the amount of money we spent on prep schools and the hours he studied, I knew he would be accepted. I even had him take 5 preparatory classes taught by some renowned educators. I had him study 5 or 6 hours every day. If he didn't get in, I was prepared to kick him out of the house. Oh, really? Must have been hard for him. Hard? You have no idea. We were paying over $1,000 a month on his prep classes. When he was studying at home, I stayed and watched over him. Made sure he didn't slack off. If you want your kids to grow up to be somebody, a mother has to work even harder. I see. I suppose so. I expect it was pretty hard on James. Yes, well, I guess all this studying and getting into the right school is really not of interest to you. So, David is going to the local public school, right? Well, actually, he applied to one of the private schools. And he did well. Got accepted. Oh, really? I figured he was the type to just coast through high school. Anyway, probably just lucky. Congratulations! Huh? What do you mean by that? Just what I said. It was pure luck. I've seen David around. He was playing soccer constantly when he should have been studying, like my James. But he manages to get in? Pure luck. Or was it some low-level school that he got into? Perhaps. Are you being serious? Where is this conversation going anyways? I mean, you didn't even send your kid to prep school. Just allowed him to kick his stupid ball around all day. It just all seems inconceivable. My James quit the soccer club and focused his efforts on getting into a good school. And he did. His motivation and brains are nothing compared to your precious David. Sorry to let you down, but David was studying all that time. Of course, he didn't go to a prep school, but he was focused on his studies. As a result, he passed the entrance exam with flying colors. No use posturing, the result is obvious. David loves playing outside. A kid like that would never sit quietly at home and study. If he had gone to prep school as James had, well, then I may believe you. Oh, I'm sorry. I suppose you couldn't afford it. How rude of me. It's just so easy for us. I tend to forget other people's financial woes. Excuse me, but what is it you're trying to say? Why are you giving me all this BS? I'm just stating facts. Just because David is some local soccer hero, everybody heaping him with praise for his goals. What's all that good for? Once he gets a taste of the real world, all the soccer skills in the world won't help him one bit. In this world, academic background is everything. Is this about David being elected as captain of the soccer team? As a matter of fact, I do remember you rooting for him to become team captain. Is that it? You have a grudge. That's the reason for all this BS? I don't know. You think? Well, anyway, his studies are way more important than kicking a ball around. By entering this prestigious school, he's on the winner's track to success. It was all worth the money and effort. As for David, He's probably on the loser's track to a mediocre career. You had to be a cheapskate and not send him to a proper prep school. This was a turning point in his life, and you ignored that. Being poor can really be frustrating.
About David.
What about him?
He was accepted at the Sturgis Academy.
Huh? Sturgis Academy is that famous?
I don't know about it being famous, but I suppose so. I'm sure it's the one you're thinking of.
Any mother worth her salt knows that place. It's the top academy in the country with a 6% acceptance rate. That's Harvard or Yale level. He's guaranteed to get into those universities too. Also qualifies for a scholarship. He's got the pick of top colleges.
Yeah, that's what he tells me. It's that Sturgis Academy that David got accepted to.
You can't be serious. You're making it all up. But David, he was never studying. And right before the exam season, he wasn't even going to prep school. He was just kicking that ball around the field all day. For God's sake! How can a kid like that get into the top private school in the country? I can understand you being envious that James got into Middleton Academy, but to make up some extravagant lie, it's despicable, even for you.
It's not a lie. Yes, as you say, he was playing soccer every day and continued managing the team. But he put aside time for his studies as well. He felt that sitting at the desk all day would be too stressful, and he needed to manage his time properly. A little exercise allowed him to clear his head, and in the long run, was way better for his studies. When he wasn't at soccer practice, he was at home or at school studying.
But he wasn't even going to prep school. Sturgis Academy isn't the type of school you can get into with just a few hours of study a day.
You're right. That's why he got a stack of questionnaires and work assignments from his teacher. Anything he had trouble with, he just asked the teacher at school. And also, my eldest son is currently a freshman at Yale University, so he helped out. Wasn't really necessary to send him to a prep school.
Huh? Your eldest son is at Yale?
Yes. Oh, I thought you knew.
That's the first I heard. How could your son go to Sturgis Academy and your other son at Yale? My son's teacher said he barely squeezed his way into Middleton Academy.
It all depends on the child. He's got motivation or he doesn't.
No motivation. Is that what you're saying? So you're saying that James didn't have enough motivation?
No, I'm not saying that. You know that David loves soccer. Sturgis Academy practically guarantees that he gets into one of the top universities, which means he can focus on playing soccer and not worry about college. And he's also interested in studying overseas, probably in Europe. The soccer scene, you know. There are famous Sturgis Academy affiliated universities over there, with some famous soccer alumni. Eventually, he says he wants to join one of the teams over there. So, I suppose that's where his real motivation comes from.
Soccer is his motivation?
Motivation is very important for studying, no matter what it is. I'm so sorry. By the looks of it, James does not look as if he was studying much, and always just kicking that stupid ball around. But then he gets into one of the top schools in the country? But as you say, results are what matters, right?
What? You arrogant little... Even if he got into Sturgis Academy, if he doesn't try, well, what good is it? Yeah, I can see it now. He'll drop out in no time.
Well, studying overseas means he has to keep his grades up. I'm sure he'll manage. After all, he has the motivation. Besides all that, is James going to be okay? Middleton is also a top school, and if he can't keep up with those classes, he may end up dropping out. David told me that he saw James dozing off in class, and even went to the school infirmary a couple times because he wasn't feeling well. He tells me James just barely gets by in most of his classes. I'm worried if he can keep up at Middleton Academy.
I don't need you lecturing me about my son. If he can't keep up, well, I'm just going to have to make him study harder, that's all. I'll just add more prep classes, and may even hire a home tutor. We'll just have to spend more money, add more classes, and make him study every day, including weekends.
Do you really think that's all good for James?
What?
Well, James confided in me. He told me never to tell you. Truth be told, after quitting the soccer team, he came over to our place. He broke down crying. He didn't want to quit soccer.
Huh?
He said if he had to quit soccer, he didn't want to take that exam. But he was scared to tell you. He said he'd be kicked out of the house. Tears were streaming down his cheeks. I felt so sorry for him.
James? My James said that?
David was pretty upset about it too. He tried talking him out of quitting. David was insistent. He knew James is an outstanding soccer player and hated losing him. He said it was such a waste to throw his talents away. James said he wanted to continue playing soccer.
I had no idea.
Hey, Jenny, do you really think it's okay to force your son to study and take that exam? Making him work so hard, wrecking him, both mentally and physically. Is he really happy? I mean, that's what we're talking about here, right? The happiness of your child? Aren't you just using your son to satisfy your ego? Your pride?
That was not my intention.
The reason he was dozing off in class and falling ill. It's all because you increased his after-school classes. In order to keep up with the workload at Middleton, you said you would hire a tutor. The stress alone. I'm worried about his health. As a mother, is that what you want for your son?
Of course not. Nothing is more precious to me than James.
That's right. Your own child is the most important. Isn't that right? So, listen to what he has to say. What he wants in life. I just hope you'll be able to understand and grant his wishes. Of course, education and academic background are very important. But after all, it's his life. Let him live it as he pleases.
You're right. I'm sorry for making such false accusations. Thank you. I see what you're saying. I feel so ashamed. I'll have a talk with him later.
Please do. It will be good for both of you. I pray that things will work out. After they talked, it was decided to reject the application to Middleton Academy. He decided to go to a local school, a good school nonetheless. In fact, the school was more in line with James's academic level. What's more, he was able to get onto the soccer team. Both David and I are happy that things turned out for James and that his mother came to her senses.
Ashley, sorry to message you so suddenly.
Hey Marie, what's wrong?
The truth is, my relative Stephen died suddenly. I know it might be overstepping the mark, but could I ask you to go to the funeral?
Oh, is that so? Oh, my condolences. Of course I'll attend. Could you tell me when and where the funeral will be?
It's from tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Greenwich Village Funeral Home. Would you mind getting there a bit earlier?
Sure, I'll go a bit earlier.
Ashley, I'm so sorry, but the venue has changed location all of a sudden.
Can you really change the location of a funeral that easily? I'm in front of the funeral home as we speak.
I couldn't believe it either. I hate to ask, but could you come to the Greenwich Village Hotel?
A hotel? What do you mean? It's a funeral service, right? Why should I go to a hotel?
Don't worry about it, just get here fast. Everyone's already arrived and are waiting. Get here as fast as possible. It's rude if my daughter-in-law is the only one that turns up late. Okay. Wait. Marie? What's going on? You told me it was a funeral service. But it's really a wedding, isn't it? Where are you now? What was that outfit you were wearing? Ugh! I can't believe it. No, what are you talking about? Explain the situation to me. There's obviously been a misunderstanding? Marie! You're a bit of an annoying daughter-in-law, aren't you? I definitely told you that it was a wedding. Of all things, why would you come in funeral wear? You really do have a lack of common sense. What? You told me it was a funeral, though. It's fine. Just get back here fast and apologize properly when you do. I'm apologizing in your place right now. I told them that I'm sorry for my stupid daughter-in-law. Marie. Yesterday I didn't have any time because I was apologizing to everyone. But we need to get this all straight. There was obviously a miscommunication. You told me it was a funeral, didn't you? Why would you tell me two different things? Why do you hate me so much? Hate you? I told you that it was a wedding. Ugh, won't you stop these false accusations? Even if you said that, Marie, there's still some history between us, isn't there? But regardless, you told me it was a funeral. I'm literally looking at the text you sent. What? Maybe I made a mistake. Even if I did, do you really want to make me out to be the villain that much? You really are a horrible daughter-in-law. This is why I opposed you marrying my son, but Ben didn't listen. Is that why you've been bullying me? Because you never wanted me to marry him in the first place? I really don't want to say something like this, but aren't you being a little childish? Who do you think you're speaking to? Now you're showing your true colors. I'll tell you what, all of our relatives are on my side. From now on, don't think that you have a place as part of my family. It's annoying being part of your family anyway. I'd rather be out of it. Why are you speaking like you're above me? Who do you think I am? I think you're my mother-in-law? That's what I don't like about you. You don't even have a bit of charm or loving in your voice. Do you really think a woman like that is suitable for Ben? Despite you being a bad person, you always put the blame on me. Don't you think you're being a bit weird? You're always being so feisty. Oh, I can't believe it. That's why I can't stand you. Well then, I can see that this isn't a situation where we can actually talk. Let's try to talk another day. With that... What? Wait a second. You feel like leaving now? You can't leave now. Hey, listen to your mother-in-law. Ashley, have you got a second? I'm in the hospital now. Oh, it's nothing serious, but I've twisted my ankle badly. I have to stay in the hospital for a few days. Oh, really? Take care of yourself. Well then. Wait a second. If you come to visit me, I'll forgive all those awful things you said. I thought you hated me? Plus, you were the one who was saying way worse stuff to me. I already told you I don't hate you. on your way here, could you pick me up a donut from that bakery by your house? Oh, I'm totally addicted to them. If you buy me one and bring it to me when you visit, then I'll forgive you. Oh, the hospital food is so bland. I'm already so tired of it. Is that so? By the way, are your relatives going to visit you? Isn't it obvious they are? Everyone's so worried about me. Unlike you, I'm popular. Well, Ashley, it's better to take this opportunity to butter me up. Because even at the best of times, you're thought of as a stupid daughter-in-law. Oh, right. Okay, so I'll visit tomorrow. Ashley! What are you doing? Oh, hello again, Marie. What's up? We just saw each other. Do you miss me already? Don't play innocent with me. I know you're behind this. It can't not have been you. You got everyone to come to see me in hospital in funeral clothes. Aren't you just the funniest person in the world? Oops, I'm sorry. Oh, I think this is surely another one of your misunderstandings. So I told everyone to show up in funeral clothes because, don't be stupid. If I'm dead now, how am I messaging you? Yeah, I guess you're right. What are you laughing at? Stop treating me like I'm some idiot. You better tell everyone who came today that this was all a misunderstanding. After this stupid little prank, you're no longer welcome in this family anymore. Do you still not understand? What? Understand what? I think you're underestimating how much influence you have over your family and relatives. I didn't trick them at all to show up looking the way they did. They agreed to it. What are you saying? I know you're definitely lying. They would never do that. I'm not fresh off the farm like you. I've been the center of this family for years. They all love and respect me. They'd never do that, after all I've done for them. Everyone said you constantly look down on them and that it's exhausting to be around you. Oh, yeah, right. How stupid do you think I am? I'd never fall for something so blatantly false. You really are a helpless piece of work, aren't you? Maybe I am, but you're no better. I think it's time you know the truth. In all my years alive on this earth, I've never seen anyone who's hated by more people than you. What? If they didn't, they wouldn't have agreed to go along with my little plan. In fact, they were all on my side at the wedding, too. They all felt so bad for me. When you weren't there, they all came to apologize to me. They said this isn't the first time you've done something like this. I didn't even have to show them our text message history. They believed me. You told me to go in funeral wear to an important family wedding just to pick on me. You tried to trick me into being the one to ruin the wedding, when really it was you for doing such a nasty thing to me. Everyone was understandably angry at you. Marie? Are you reading these messages? You've gone all quiet. I'm here. I see. By the way, Uncle Mark said, I'm tired of putting up with her foul mouth. She swears like a truck driver. And Aunt Paula said, when I heard her stories, I always pretended to laugh. But I immediately think about how I can get away from her ASAP. That's enough. She also said, I also have to bite my lip to stop myself from raking her over the coals. What's wrong? Does the truth hurt? Stop it already! I'll say I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. It's very unlike you to apologize.
I've been targeting you because it feels like you took my son away from me. You know that I had him when I was a bit older. He was just the cutest little boy. Oh, and I loved him so much. You're a woman, too. Surely you understand.
Well, I understand he was cute, but how does that translate into you bullying his wife? It doesn't add up for me.
I raised him with all the love in my heart. I love him so much, and that didn't just go away when he got married. I just can't bring myself to let him go. I hate that his affection is going to someone that isn't me. I wanted to play a little trick on you to show you I was the boss. I thought it was harmless.
Harmless? How is it harmless? If it only affected me, it would have been one thing. But you ruined the atmosphere of the entire wedding because you wanted to be mean to me.
Didn't I apologize for that already?
Yeah, only to me, though. And I'm the one that gets to decide if you're forgiven, even if you apologize. Nothing could be done about you ruining the wedding ceremony. How would you feel if it were the other way around? Not just the fact that you ruined the wedding, but also how the rest of your family has been putting up with your behavior for years.
Okay, fine. I'll apologize to everyone once I see them again.
It's great that you realize what you've been doing is wrong, but I don't know if everyone will want to see you after all of this.
Why not? Why wouldn't they want to see me again? What's that supposed to mean?
It means what it means. After talking with everyone, we've all agreed it would be best if we don't see you anymore or invite you anywhere.
No way!
If you can't see anyone from now on, you won't be able to apologize, will you? By the way, that includes me and your son, too.
Stop messing around. What you're saying is serious. I know my son would never say that.
Oh, he did. He was the one who brought it up in the first place, actually. All of the family met up, and the discussion led to that. It seems that everyone said they'd be cutting you off. No one opposed the idea.
Ben wouldn't have said something as horrible as that. We're related. We have a blood connection. I don't believe any of this. You're lying, because you want to get back at me for the little joke I played on you.
Why don't you get in touch with Ben to see if it's a lie or not?
I can't get through. It doesn't even go to voicemail. My texts aren't sending either. What's going on?
Someone who only thinks in the short term like you might not understand, but the main victim of this incident is Ben. Not just because his own mother is picking on his wife. You were willing to use someone's wedding ceremony, and he saw it firsthand. Your selfishness was made very clear to him and the rest of the family. I would have been happy if you'd at least kept your tricking to only affect me. I'm sure this is all pretty tough to swallow, huh?
Don't you think this is all going a little too far? For just one little prank? I'm not the villain here. If anyone, you're the one who's being selfish.
Well, if you haven't understood what I've said up to now, I don't think you ever will. I've said what I had to. Whether you accept it or not is up to you. I promise, the next time the whole family will be properly dressed. In funeral wear. At your funeral service. Because that's the only way we'll ever agree to see you again. After that, all of the family completely cut Marie out of their lives and stopped inviting her everywhere. Paul, her husband, had been dead a long time. She'd been living off Social Security and the money her husband left until then, but still relied on her family to support her for a lot of the time. That was all gone now. Maybe it was owing to her hard life, but she didn't have anyone she could call a friend. She realized quickly that she had no one else in her life other than the family who had just disowned her. She had no one left to turn to. I heard that from time to time she'd go over to one of her relatives' house, crying and begging to be let in. But wherever she went, she'd be turned away at the front door. No one wanted anything to do with her. She thought she might be forgiven if she apologized. She told everyone in the family, "Please, I'm apologizing for the way I've acted. You've got to forgive me." But all of them knew she was a lost cause and didn't fall for her crocodile tears. Well, I guess she got what she deserved. I hope she realizes that her jokes aren't very funny.